tired of being so confused. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now, about this new world. Ain't no track. Papa's got a brand new eye.
May 16th, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. One night only. The Dumb Show.
Hey, stop fucking up.
Is hosting a night built on something real. No fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled out fun.
The Dumb Story.
Filters, no thing. Tried to shut us down.
My stuff's not working.
Corporate sponsors, no gate.
Hey guys, this is The Dumb Show, and you can watch it live. Stupid. That's all right. We'll fix it. I just got to put this in. Usually I have that to go ahead and do this. All right. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to get right to it. By the way, you can call into the show if you guys want to. We'll put that number up. Olivia's going to jump on here in a second. Yeah, we're accepting donations too, so that's available. But we got to have a conversation. All right, so let me give you the skinny. Like Snowmageddon is going to start like around 11 o'clock. So we've been prepping all day and freezing our butts off. I put up some information, put up a photograph of the firearm that was used, and it pretty much is the sister to this. Now, this is a macro. It's a P365 Macro X. It's got a very similar look and feel, except that the Desert Tan is here, and then he also had here on the grip, which looked to be like it's pearl-handed, but it's not. It's basically a lighter Desert Tan on the grip that is here on both sides, and then his overall lower was the gunmetal black, which is very similar. This is a SIG. And this essentially is the weapon that he had, a little bit bigger. I still think it's a P365. I don't think it's a 320, but that would explain if it accidentally went off, which it didn't. We'll talk about it because that actually has some issue when you instigate any type of movement on the slide once a round is racked and some light pressure is applied into the trigger. But in this case, I don't believe that's what took place. This is very similar to what he has, 365. It's sick. I own 3 of them, and I own a bunch of Glocks too. But that's the weapon. Now, when I saw the photograph, there's 2 things. One is that our good friend Gary, who we talked about last night, is going to be in Minnesota on Friday. But I also have another friend who I grew up with, who's also in the exact same area and was speaking to me about this in regards because they were on site. And the first information that I got was the man was being detained. They pulled him. It was an altercation. They sprayed him with pepper spray. He went after a counter protester of some sort, or not quite sure who it was, could have been an agent, but went and did a counter protest. Excuse me, the counter protester was accosted by the person who was shot. I think his name is Alex. You guys, a lot of his information I don't have as far as his name and shit. I really don't care. But what I do care about is my understanding. And first, what I heard was they went to apprehend a person. This guy got in the way. There was an open conflict. They sprayed him. He resisted. Multiple agents got on top of him. Somebody said he was pistol whipped. I don't believe so. I believe they hit him with a pepper spray can several times to kind of get him to stop resisting and stop fighting. But that's the information we have. And then it looks like that he reaches to draw, and you see his elbow come back, and it looked like he's going to grab a hip carry, right? Now, he is concealed carry. He was legal to carry, is my understanding. And it looks like he has a firearm in his hand. Now, it very well could be a firearm. It very well could be a cell phone. I'm leaning towards the latter, but I'm just letting you know what happened 4 or 5 hours ago. And my comment was, there was an attempt to grab a firearm. There was fire, or gun was shouted out. You hear that in the video. We're going to break it down and show it to you. And then one single solitary shot was fired. Whether that was a ND, a negligent discharge, or that was the assailant is unbeknownst to everybody. But that was the initial information that we received. That was what I was talking to my friend about. So I repeated that, and that still remains to be true. The question is, did he have a gun? Well, we know he did. That is an incontrovertible fact. I know what gun he did have because I showed you a photograph, which I'll show you also, which I received a photo. Other people received photos, and it went across the internet like crazy, of the victim's firearm, which indeed looks to me like a 365. What version of a 365, P365 from SIG is unbeknownst to me, because I don't know the other versions other than my X Macro and the other ones that I carry. But it very much looks like that. It looks like it's been modified. And it has. So we're going to show you the firearm, who had possession of that firearm that was in the seat of the vehicle's car of ICE, who removed that from the shooter when the shooter had it, because I am here to tell you that I believe the narrative that is out there is wrong. Now, it's not that it wasn't a justified shooting, because the moment that firearm was found and they tried to remove that firearm, and his motion to go for it all added to the shooting itself. So he was legal to carry, but there's also some rules with carrying, especially in these areas, is that you can't instigate something that would be felonious or even a misdemeanor or even a verbal threat or even flip somebody off when you conceal carry, because this can be reciprocated against your license to carry. In fact, when we all go through concealed training class, which I've had concealed carry for 15 years, well, 25 years, and then plus military, is that you are told not to start shit per se in situations. So if he came there armed to a protest, that's fine. I don't care. I've been to plenty of situations where I'm armed. That, who cares? But the moment that you start becoming an agitator, the moment that you start doing a misdemeanor or a felony, which it was because he was attacking somebody, that changes the scope of everything top to bottom, especially when the feds are involved. And it's already a tense situation. And gun means draw. And then hearing a pop, possibly an agent drawing their weapon and negligent discharge took place, which is very possible. Most agents are going to carry around and have a round go off. It is absolutely possible in a high stress situation, 5 firearms, 6 firearms, 7 firearms are coming out, that one of the agents ND'd. And if they did, that fired off the attack. Now you ask a question, Matt, no, he had a gun. He's the one who shot. I'm going to show you that I don't think he did. You're not going to love that. And you might get mad at me, And I'm still 100% an advocate for ICE, but I can't in good conscience provide bad information. And as we were listening to it and watching it, I was like, I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to really get into this and try to find counter evidence. Now, is it AI or people screwing around? And I saw enough to get me to get on with you guys on my day off because it's that serious. Here is what I believe is a 365. Now, Tommy Cawthon, if you're on, if any of my people are on, please let me know. If my people are on, let me know. Now, some people, let's break it down. Some people are saying that's a threaded barrel. I don't know if it's a threaded barrel. I believe it's a compensator on the front. Then has what looks to be a red dot, and I can't see if that's the Trigun logo or if that's Sig Sauer. I can't tell who it is, but either way, it's very different than this. I've got just a basic Holosun on mine, but that's a little bit higher and it looks ceramic. So somebody can tell me what it is because I've seen it 100 times online. And then you can see on the grip, you can see that there is a composite style, maybe a wood or a carbon fiber that has just a little bit more grip than the standard SIG. That makes it a little bit easier to fit in the hands. And then obviously you take a look at the magazine that he has and it's got silver wrap on the mag, and the other one is a standard mag, which looks absolutely exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Exactly. 100%. Okay. So that is that. So there's this is the firearm, and this is the photograph. It looks like a threaded barrel, much like the Kel-Tec P17. Okay, so threaded barrel makes sense. Why does the barrel look bent? That's a great question. So let me show you. So when you go ahead and you put this in the safe position, you can see that this floating barrel goes up in a position. And it basically just rises up. When you take this apart, which I could do, but I'm not going to do for you right now, but you can see that it's slightly bent. And really, it's about a 4 degree bend, but it's not bent at all. It's the floating barrel mechanism in order to go ahead and keep its compact size. Tommy Cawthon, or one of the gunsmiths, can tell you why exactly it's like this. But when you take it apart, the barrel is actually removable, and it's a small piece, and it's got a back end on it right there. And that fits and slides right here against your spring. So that's the way it works in Glocks. That's the way it works on SIGs. And it's just a slight upward trajectory on that floating barrel. I'm sure Tommy or one of the other guys can tell you exactly why, because I don't know why. Shoot it. I don't necessarily study it. So now that we know that this is the firearm that was taken, I'm going to show you who took it. And I'm going to show you how it was taken. Looks like Olivia's not going to come on. Olivia is going to handle donations, and I'm going to handle the show. Okay, and this is going to be rough, guys. We're not ready for this at all. But please do me a favor and bear with us. So call-ins are more than welcome. Anybody who wants to call in, and anything that I say that is kind of, you're like, wait a second, Matt, no, that's not right. You guys can correct me as always. So I want everyone to take a breath and not be like, oh, Matt's going against ICE. Because, listen, I have 2 friends there. I talked to Gary today, and I sent him a message. I said, dude, are you okay? Are you safe? So I just happen to have 2 people that I know are there. And you guys know I've been doing this a long time. I've got a lot of friends in law enforcement, a lot of friends in D.C., a lot of friends in the military. And I just did a video that I took down because I wanted to do this instead to clarify. Okay? So the first thing that you see is this video. And this is my video. And that I posted on our site. And if you look here, you're going to see a gentleman in gray who's to the left, big gray parka. You're going to see the man in black right here who is drawing his sidearm on his right side right there. That's a hip holster. It's an outside carry, and he's drawing. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look that there's an arrow right here pointing at this guy's hand. And because of fragmentation on the video, which it happens because it's not 1080p, not 4K, it's not 8K, it's a down conversion on this video, and it's compressed, is it looks like a gun. And it looks like a gun from this aspect being held this way. So let's make this safe so we don't accidentally have an ND. If we're holding the firearm in the position that the camera is showing, it would, I know I'm breaking rules. I'm pointing it at myself. I've already cleared. It's already safe. But this is basically, if you were looking at it, it would look like this to you, basically, and at a downward angle. So you can actually see the barrel kind of sticking out. See that? It is pointing off of me, by the way. I'm not flagging myself here. So that's the way it looks. Now, very well looks like a gun, but it also could be a phone. It could be a phone with an additional lens on the piece. He could have a mic adapter on it because he's filming. There could be a lot of things it could be. But my first thought was, wow, that looks like the gun I just showed you. Very much. And I'm convinced that it is. I'm not going to make that an affirmative. I'm not going to absolutely preach that. But there are a couple times online where I've said, listen, it looks like he's got that gun in his hand. And it looks like that shape and size as mine would be with a reticle. Not a flashlight, but a reticle on it. Very similar. The only thing is the Desert Tan. Now, I go get my Glock, which has the Desert Tan, if that helps give you guys ratio to proportion. But that's a 43, and that's smaller than this. That's a concealed carry. Even though this is essentially a smaller handgun based upon overall size, it's not a subcompact, even though it's called a macro. Now, he's got an additional magazine, which is stock magazine, and then he's also got a custom magazine that he has there that gives him the extension for pinky and stuff, because it is a smaller grip for big guys. And if this guy was concealed carry, knew what he was doing, he probably had a rig that was halfway decent. Now, I'm going to put the video on, and I've got all the angles, but hang with me here so we can do this together. And we're going to play this part. And then I've got several videos to show you. And then the one video is going to blow your mind. Like, that's going to be the blow your mind. That's going to be like, oh my God, Matt's right. So here is the video that I've shown. And any questions or anything else, please let me know. Matt, it does look like a P320, and they do have some controversy. I said that at the beginning. I don't think it's a P320. I'm just letting you know. I can show you, but I don't believe it is. But it's okay. We're going to watch this. So let's give this a watch. This is slowed down. Now, I want you to watch this guy. This is our friend in the gray jacket. This is our friend who was drawing down and pulling his sidearm. And this is the assailant on his knees right here. Right here, you see a firearm. Watch, let me move, let me move. See this? He has something. But in the full video that I showed you, he doesn't have a firearm in his hand. I'm going to show you that he disarms the suspect. Now, you may not like that. You may get mad at me. Don't. Just watch. This, he draws. This gentleman over here is starting to draw. This lady's filming, and I have this footage, full footage in HD. Boom. And that is the frame exactly at the 11-second mark that looks like a gun. See it? Looks like a gun. What's up? Sure they can. I'm looking at it. I'm right here. They can see it. Look, it's broadcasting right now. Mouse. So here, watch this. See that? Watch the guy's hand. It looks like a gun, but it also could be a phone. So the question is, did he have a gun? Well, absolutely, because I'm going to show you he did. Then at this point, that man draws down and fires away. So you might be asking yourself, like I said, okay, so what happened? Why are you doubting that he fired a round? Well, I'm going to show you. So if I come over to my bookmarks here, and I've been searching this for a better part of today, I'm going to show you this full video right here. This is going to give you 43 seconds of the beginning of the interaction to the end. Once again, and absolutely fuck that guy, okay? I'm not defending this asshole. What I'm trying to tell you is I think there was so much chaos and so much confusion that this guy was shot without a gun, even though he had one, but he was disarmed. And I'm telling you, this is a state of confusion. And just hear me out before you react. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a MAGA supporter. I've got friends on the ground. I got friends right there. One of them I can tell you, and one of them I can't tell you. So let's chill and just watch. Thank you for the donation, CJ. Here's the video. Saying, don't touch her, don't touch her, don't touch her. You've got an ICE guy. You've got an agitator in position one. You've got the suspect who was shot, and then you have somebody else. And then, of course, you have the ICE agent right here. We go ahead and fast forward. At this point, look what's in his hand. It's the phone I described. He's in a 16:9 position. 16:9 is this, like a movie versus 9:16. He's in a 16:9. He's filming, and he has it held like this. So more than likely, it's this, right? And he's filming. Now, whether he has an attachment here or whatever, very much with fragmentation and pixelization on the video could look like a gun. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Right now, it's a phone, and it's obvious it's a phone, and it's in his right hand. Don't fucking touch her. Boom. ICE officer pushes, and he gets in his shit. Immediately right here, this escalates. And he gets sprayed. And he puts his hand up, and he goes, okay. Now, I don't know at that point what's happening. It looks like he tries to grab her, protect her, pull her up, maybe accost her. I don't know. Because remember, he was saying, don't touch her, don't touch her, don't touch her. Now, there's the first pepper spray kick. See that? He reaches back and he hits him with pepper spray. Look at Gray Jacket. Gray Jacket sees something. At that point, he sees on his hip the P365 on a side carry holster, just like every officer there. And he has an outward non-waistband carry. So it's not inside his waistband of his pants. It's on the outside. So it's an outside carry covered by his jacket. But the officer sees it and he goes in.
Keepers, the call went out.
And grabs it. Sorry, the soundboard's acting goofy. Watch. Boom. He goes in and he grabs the side. I'm going to show you another video where it absolutely shows him grabbing the firearm. Now, there's pieces here. There's things flying. Looks like an extra mag, possibly. Maybe some pepper spray. Things are flying off as they are trying to get this guy under control. Now, watch. I've got a better video than this. But if you take this back, this officer now has something in his hand, and it is absolutely a firearm with a reticle. And the top of it looks to be tan because the reticle is floating on what looks to be that guy's pants, which are like a caramel color, which is standard desert camo that most guys wear. Now, when he turns the firearm, you can clearly see the hilt or the handle of the firearm that I described to you with that composite light tan. Do you see it? It's right here. As he's holding the gun, it's right there. And you can see that composite on the handgun itself, which is an aftermarket. Then, as he gets away, because that's what he's going to do, he's going to remove the gun from the situation, the firearm from the situation. This is when, watch, this guy right here, remember this guy? He hasn't drawn down yet. Nobody's drawn yet. This guy is out of the picture. Firearm is removed. But then something happened. Then here, he draws. Everybody starts drawing because they hear something. I'll show you what they heard. Now listen to it in full time. There was a shot between, I will zoom in a second. I can't zoom in faster than this. You guys are just going to have to trust me on this. Now watch. When he backs off and he goes away, okay, he's running away. You're going to hear a fire. You're going to hear a shot pop off. Just one single shot. And then you're going to hear a series of shots in the longer video. But listen. So what you hear is a single pop, and then pop, 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 multiple rounds, and then you'll hear one or two more after that. Now, the question is, where did that agent get that gun, and why does it look just like this one? Now, I've got one that looks very similar. I can go pull my Glock, and you'll be like, oh my God, it's got a reticle on it. It's got a compensator on the front. It's got a threaded barrel. It's got the desert camo, all desert camo. And it looks similar. It's not a Glock, but it looks similar. It's most people who do this for a living or do this as a hobby kind of wreck the same firearms, and that's completely normal. But is it possible to have, once again, the composite on the grip, have the reticle, the red dot, have the desert tan on top and the lower be black, and then have the same threaded or compensator on the front? It's pretty unlikely. Just in that frame of reference when we look at him going after the gun. But this is the one that this is the one that's going to bother you. This is the one that's going to bother you. And I'll zoom in on this one. This one's much bigger. Now, is it possible that he had a second firearm? Absolutely. The question is, what hand did he have it drawn in? I'm going to show you a video, okay? And this one is the one that's going to bother you. So I apologize. I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade, and I'm going to get to it. Here it is. This is much clearer.
The fuck, people! The fuck!
Now, I don't know why he's grabbing this person down here. It's very confusing, very confusing. But listen and watch. And now you're going to understand what I'm saying. This is going to bother you guys, so watch.
What's wrong with you? Honestly!
Right there. Here's our guy, and he's going to reach on his hip. And he's going to pull his firearm. And I think he ND'd. I think there was a round in the chamber. I think he pulled it, and I think the negligent discharge came from him. And then gun was because I believe he also reached, because you can kind of see him reach back, and with that made it look like he was going for his gun, and they put him down. You see him reach? Now, whether he was trying to reach for that gun or not, I can't answer that question, but I can only show you what I can show you. Once again, here's his hand on his firearm. Right here. And he pulls it. We know that because we saw him pull it. And I showed you in the other video. Now, outside of that, there's something else I want to show you. I'm going to show you some videos that have a little bit higher resolution that can help you see it. As you can see, it's the exact same weapon. There is the handle. There's the desert camo. There's the reticle, same size, same space, and you can even see the compensator at the bottom, at the end of the thread. So listen to me. Is this condemning ICE? No. No. Is this a justified shooting? Yes. But this is chaos. You have a man who's armed legally, just like I am, just like a lot of people who watch the show are. But I would never put myself in a situation where I was going to go and protest or be up against officers armed. Ever. It's the dumbest thing you could possibly do. When they were getting him down, they saw gun and said gun in the video multiple times. Gun, gun, gun. Guy in gray goes in there and reaches it. And I believe when he pulled the weapon, he cross-pulled. Now, I want you to listen to me here. If this is on my hip in this situation, and I pull and I engage with this weapon, when I draw, he probably had a composite. Thank you for the donations, guys. I appreciate it. He probably had a composite holster just like this. I've got a leather one, and I've got this one, and this actually fits my flashlight and my reticle so it doesn't get in the way. So it fits perfect, right? When I grab this, and it wouldn't be like this because I do a back carry. I put it in the small of my back, okay? Or I do a front carry as well. But I want to be able to reach behind my back. I don't like hip draws. I hate them. So when I grab this, I am going to take my thumb and I'm going to push down, or my index, and push down to disengage that. But then I'm also trying to slip my finger here and continue to push. So when my index comes off, I'm immediately in the safe position. I'm keeping my booger hook off the bang switch, right? So it's that fast. And I'm on. And I'm not on the trigger. Thank you, Janet. So when this guy grabs this, I believe what happened, once again, I'm completely safe. I'm off trigger. Is that when he grabs it, and this buckle clip is going to be on the inside, he grabs and he loosens it and it comes up. But he's reaching across. So when he grabs, my opinion is, based upon his grip, is he didn't get a good grip because we saw this light color grip out of his hands. So he was holding it like this. And he pulled it out. This is dangerous. This finger needs to be in a fixed position. These fingers need to be wrapped properly along the grip. And if he grabbed it like this, at some point when he pulled it out, he had to reposition. And when he did, I think he grabbed it, and then his finger popped and hit the trigger. That's my gut. Could be wrong.
And the right people answered. Chris Tonto Peronto.
Shut up. Stop doing that. But that's my gut. Now, could it have been another agent pulling out their firearm? Sure. It's possible. It's possible. But to me, there was only one person at that time that we saw that had their finger or hand on and broke leather on a firearm. Once again, I don't know where his fingers are. What I do know is he's wearing gloves. That's what I know. And in this picture, this doesn't tell the whole story. I need to watch the video from this angle, which we have too. But if you look at this, it looks like, once again, like I told you, and I don't know if this guy ND'd or not, but what we're looking at right here is that his finger is most assuredly wrapped low on the firearm. And the P365 is different than other firearms, is it has a very low profile on the grip. It's really meant for smaller hands. That's why you see the extension on a lot of the mags. Here's the picture, what Melanie wanted me to show you. In this photograph, his finger is not on there, but you can see how low he's riding on that firearm, y'all. And I don't know if his finger is not in the trigger guard, because I'm seeing some color separation. It looks like he's just gripping it right there. Yeah, I see the shadow on his pants, but that doesn't change my mind. I see the trigger guard is completely open, but that's only one still frame. We don't see what happens after that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it is a P320, that's a completely different situation, because those have gone off with just light pressure on the trigger. But you're right, his finger's not in the trigger guard right now. You can see that through the shadow. I understand what you're saying, but it's one frame. And I want to see the full video, and I think we have that too. So let's watch that. Let's see. And that's going to be a really good indicator for us, you know? We'll have a good idea. See if we have that angle. Yeah, the ND more than likely did not come from him based upon the trigger guard, the trigger housing. He didn't have his finger in it. Here's a better video. This will help us look. Now, I can't get too much more into this picture. Yeah, I can't blow this up more. I'll figure out how to do that. Is there a magnifying glass on Apple? Hold on. Magnifier. Magnifier. Come on. Let me find this out. External safety on the suspect's weapon? No. Not on the 365. The safety is you racking the round. And you have to have to engage the trigger in order for it to fire. Charity Lamb, $15. Thank you so much. Let me just find this magnifier thing. See if it's on here. Magnifying app. I got to get one. That would be a lot easier. Yeah, there's no external safety on those 365s. They work just like a Glock. You got to pull the trigger for them to fire. You can even drop it when it has a round in the mag. We've got a lot of people on. I'm really glad so many people are watching. I appreciate it. You guys are more than welcome to say anything. Love to hear from you. Nice to see so many people on. Okay, how to open magnifying glass. Open executive zoom, use one of these options, zoom tool. Okay. So go to view. Oh, I gotta go to preferences. Settings. Sorry guys. This show is not necessarily the easiest thing to do alone. System settings. Open system preferences and go to zoom. Aha. Zoom style, advanced. Use keyboard shortcuts, toggle zoom. Okay. All right. Let's see if that works. If that doesn't work, I don't know what we're going to do. You're just going to have to suck it up. Yeah, that's not working. All right, here we go. Let's just watch this. Okay, so we're going to, once again, not ideal. Maybe I can do crop to fill. Trying to figure out how I can, you know what I could do? I think I could do this. I can minimize here and zoom from here. Ah ha 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 ha! Matthew Spear figured it out. All right, here we go. It's getting a little bit lag. Is it possible that somebody cooked off? Listen, one of two things happen. Is that you don't see them draw, though. That ND happened right away. Listen. Yeah, Eli says, why was the guy fighting with the lady who had the backpack and they're pulling him off? I know. It was like, at first, it looked like he was defending her. Then he was fighting her. So I don't know, man. I don't know whether maybe he was trying to get her up because he was pepper sprayed. He didn't know who was who because he took a full shot of pepper spray right in the face. Oh, yeah, completely fog of war. Oh, yeah, state of chaos or confusion. Anybody will tell you who's been in one of these situations. It just, there is too much drama, too much anticipation. There's too much energy that's insane. Too many sounds, people blowing whistles. It's a state of confusion, man. That's why I'm like, I don't see charges against this, but let's finish the rest. Hold on. Supposedly, it's a custom P320. It looks like a 365, though, man. I've got a close-up of it. We can watch it. I mean, it might be a 320, but, man, I know most people who are shooters got rid of their 320s. I don't know, dude. Let's see if we can zoom in here. I don't, dude, it looks like a 365. It looks like I don't know. Because you know what? Maybe you're right. Because look at the back. I don't have that. I don't have that on mine. It's got this recurve. See this recurve right here? Take a look at this. It's got this recurve. I don't have that. Mine's straight. But that's the macro. I don't know about the regular 365 though. Someone's got to tell me. Because I don't have it. I don't or 320. I don't have a 320. 320 has 320 on the slide. This does not. See, that's what I was saying. This looks like a 365, but it doesn't look like the macro edition. This is like an older 365. But do you see on his lower? This might not be a standard issue lower. I think his slide, I don't know if this is a standard issued lower. Do you see how he's got this Colt action style recurve right here? That's like aftermarket. You see that in like a 45. This has got to be an aftermarket lower. Somebody talk to me. Matt, I honestly just think they're also on literal ice on the ground and could be good footing. There's a longer version after shooting where an ice agent slips and falls in the same spot he was fighting. That's a great point. SIG Custom Works Studio might be a usable website for comparison. Yeah, I mean, I could pull that up. I don't think it's a 320. It doesn't look like a 320 to me. But that doesn't mean I'm right. I mean, I don't know if I'd call myself a gun expert, but maybe. I mean, I'm pretty well versed. Let's go to SIG and find out. There's the GT. Ooh, I got to get the GT5. Look at that sexy beast. Oof. Sorry. Now you're going to get me spending money. Libby's going to kill me. All right, let's go to the P320. See, P320, barely any recurve on that. Now, this one's long. See how long the barrel is on a 320? And it does say 320 on the barrel. He's right. See, this is more standard for mine. So it looks like that's pretty close, but it's in camo. So see how the slide's different? It looks like he got a secondary aftermarket lower, which can happen. I mean, you know, custom, I guess. But see how that's not as prominent? And the more of the tactical ones have that recurve right there. But other ones are straight, like mine's straight on the Macro X. So that's a 320. So let's go to 365 and take a look and see if we can match up 365 tan. It's a little bit longer. Okay, so the 365 lowers do not have that custom hook. Only the 320. Guys, I think it's an aftermarket lower. Bubba says a Beretta, Matt. You think so? It appears to be a Sig Sauer 365 style pistol, most likely a Sig P365 or close variant. Yeah, Jerry, I agree. Looks like a 320 X5 or a P229. Ooh, it could be a P229. Now, there we go. Now, that's a possibility. I didn't think about that. I wish I could call Eli Crane, because he used to be an ambassador for Sig Sauer. 329, maybe? Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. But no, because I don't know if that came in Desert Camo, and I don't know if the 229 is popular enough to have all those modifications. It still looks like a 365, guys. It still looks like a 365. And it is my preferred carry. It's just everything screams 365, but this looks like an aftermarket. Yeah, see, guys, even the trigger is aftermarket. So he could have an aftermarket lower and just kept the upper. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it looks like a 365 to me. And I think most people are saying it looks like a 365 to them. But either way, I digress because I wanted to get to the other video. Let's finish the rest of this and see what happens here. All right, so he reaches in, he disarms him. And see if I can get in even closer. All right, that's as close as it's going to get. So you can see that his grip, this is like kind of where it was at. You're right. That's the discharge. So it wasn't him. Look at that trigger guard. Now, if it's a 320, he still has to have his finger on the trigger guard. Now here's the flaw in the 320, okay? The 320, when you rack around and you put a round in the pipe, most people carry that way. A simple action of up and down on the upper here, it'll fire. And it's a design flaw in the 320. But you have to have the trigger slightly depressed. And what they do is to demonstrate this is they put a little screw right here. And we're talking a millimeter and a half. We're talking nothing. That to come back like this, as long as that happens. So any pressure on the trigger, any brushing up against clothing, whatever, and with the movement of that, and a lot of people just hold it like this and push down and it fires. It also releases. You see mine does that too? That easy. So when it comes to these SIGs, they are very, very easy to navigate. You got to be careful because you can get yourself caught in the slide. But if I pull back right here, it's engaged. And that's a nice feature, especially when you're trying to do a one-hand reload. And say you get tagged in the shoulder and you can't navigate. That's a great way to go ahead and you can move it yourself with one hand. Putting your thumb right here, keeping your hands safe, putting one finger here, and a floater. In fact, I can bring it all the way back and almost take it to the safe position by doing that really easy. So that's a feature. But if you push down on it, pop, it fires. So if it's a 320, but he doesn't show any movement, any recoil, any looking down at it. You don't see any smoke. You don't see anything. So the chances of this being an accidental negligent discharge are slim to none. I'm watching it. So therefore, if we watch it in real time, it came from here. It came from this group somewhere, more than likely. Let me show you. Sorry, I realized I didn't flip it over. It's all amateur night at Improv tonight here, folks. Because remember this. Look, you got people still holstered. It's like that shot went off. You see people flinch, and then people drew. And then people drew. Apex Tactical M9 Beretta, maybe. It's got all the key signatures. Even your grooves off the Picatinny are SIG. I think it looks like a P229 Elite with a massive curve on the back, but the lower doesn't match up. I saw some mention of a P320 AXG Combat, something like that. Someone on Twitter. Yeah, it's possible it's a 320. Yeah. I'm on Team Melanie. From the video angle of the woman in pink, you can see the agent in the gray coat reach over. Yeah, I showed that earlier, Maddie. Why does this matter? Well, that's a really good question. Because we want to get our facts straight. Because we want to make sure that we're representing what actually happened. And in a situation where someone is instigating chaos and instigating a felony and attacking people and officers, and they are carrying a firearm, and that firearm was removed from that person, well, then they're going to say they shot him in cold blood, but that's not the case. All intents and purposes, there was a gun, and they shouted gun, and he could have had a second firearm. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind, but we saw that it's a phone in his hand. So did he go for his gun? That's the question. And yes, it's important. It's important because people are trying to kill ICE officers. It's important because we're out here and we're going to defend them. And I'm going to still defend them. This wasn't cold-blooded murder. This is a person who was trying to incite a violent reaction. The gun removal happened almost like simultaneously with the shots. I just proved that to you. And when there is a gun that's being removed and someone says gun, 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 and he's got a gun, 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 then this guy removes gun, 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 and then they hear a shot anyway. Well, of course, the assumption is going to be that it came from that guy. And it was simultaneous. It was bam, and then bam, 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 bam. Just listen to the sound. One. It's almost simultaneous. So why does it matter? That's why it matters. Variant P235 magazine, single track, double stack frame, metal, steel, older design, polymer, modern, size, compact, micro compact. Okay. Well, mine's a P365X macro. And my lower doesn't look like that. So there's got to be we know there's custom work on it. You would have seen the bullet hit the ground. Of course you would have. With the temp, wouldn't there be a puff from the shot? Oh, of course. Even without the temp, it could be 98 degrees and you would see a puff. Hey, Matt, just got on. Do you need me to look at your... Yeah, you need to call me, Tommy. Tommy, call into the show. So the discharge doesn't look like it came from... I'm saying modified P30 AXG Combat. Okay. When he grabbed the lady on the phone in his pocket, so he didn't have it out then. When he grabbed the lady... He put his phone in his pocket. Well, he had something in his hand, and it wasn't a firearm. Otherwise, gun would have been called, and he would have been shot long before that. I think the guy went for his gun. I think it's possible, too. When will Walsh and Frey face charges for encouraging this behavior? Hopefully soon, Jacob. I'm completely with you. The gun you posted a picture had an aim point style red dot from what I saw. Yeah, Tommy, call. Call me, Thomas. Was he a part of Antifa? Remains to be seen. Can someone take those whistles and jam them down their throats? Yeah. Nope, it is a SIG. I just cleaned the photo, P320. Okay, so that could explain the discharge, but not in this situation. Of course, everybody on the internet, all internet, people love to talk about the 320. If you go ahead and hold it this way, and you go ahead and you navigate and shove something up the trigger, it's going to fire. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's definitely dangerous, and there's negligent discharge all the time. Tommy, what's up, dude?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good, man. Sorry to bother you. All right, can you see your phone?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Okay, I'm gonna get you your nameplate on here because it's important. And then I'm just gonna you walk me through this. Have you seen the weapon? What are your thoughts on what it is?
I've seen a little bit of a picture. It does look like a SIG. It's definitely got some kind of aim point style red dot on it.
Yeah, here it is. I can't remember the version. Can you see it? You can see that there's aftermarket mag, aftermarket grip. It looks like an aftermarket lower. That does not look like a SIG lower to me at all. It doesn't. Can you see the photo?
It's a 320 AXG style.
Okay, 320.
It looks like it's had some work done to it.
Oh yeah. That's not a stock lower though, is it? I mean, even the trigger isn't.
It doesn't appear to be, no. But the thing about SIG is they've got so much customizability to them.
Yeah. Well, so 320. So here's the situation: is the guy could have modded it with a different lower because of the negligent or the accidental discharge that takes place when that thing's racked with a round, and then there's triggers depressed.
That's what it looks like, because it looks like it's actually an M17 or M18, which is the style the military's using.
Yep.
Upper, and the lower is an aftermarket slide.
Okay.
Not slide,
but lower
frame.
Lower frame housing. Yeah. So that's what it looks like to me too. I thought it was a 365. I was almost absolutely certain of it as far as an upper, but the lower was, I mean, it looks like a Colt. It's like,
yeah, it's a definite 320.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 320. So accidental discharge is possible when trigger is depressed 1.5 millimeter or more, and the actual slide is negotiated with downward pressure. It can discharge. We know that with the 320, but in this case, being aftermarket as much as it is, that's hard for me to believe because we didn't see it eject when he pulled the weapon, and he did disarm the guy who got shot. And he disarmed him and pulled it from him. So when the guy got shot, it did not look, at least from what we can see from video, that he was armed. But
yeah, it looked like he had an appendix style.
Yeah.
And something happened when he pulled the weapon. And that's when all the ICE guys went after to protect themselves, because they had no idea what he was going to do with that weapon.
That's absolutely right. So they saw it when they were wrestling with him. I'm pretty confident that's what took place. Then they heard the discharge, the single shot. When they heard single shot, they all pulled and reacted. Within all of this happened within, 2.5, 3 seconds. And that's what people don't seem to understand is the reaction time on these things are not like, wait a second, did we get this? And then they're like, well, they unloaded they mag dumped him. It's like, first of all, they didn't mag dump him because there was like 5 or 6 shots. Second,
no, there wasn't enough shots to be a mag dump. It sounded like 1 or 2, 3 guys shot.
Yep.
1 to 2 rounds apiece, and that was it.
Yeah, most of the guys didn't even get the draw out, to be honest with you, before he was put down. So it's like those guys. Here's the video again. I want to show this to you, which is a little closer and gives you a real good look at him being disarmed. Let me pull this up for you. All right, here it is. So you can watch this with sound and everything so everyone can see it. And then we're going to go. We appreciate all the donations, everyone helping out. Thank you so much. Keeps us going. So here's the video one more time. So he goes on the ground.
People, the fuck is wrong with you?
They get him down.
Honestly.
And we're looking at this guy right here. He sees a firearm. He sees it on his hip. And he goes in and he immediately puts his hand right over it. And he navigates this. See him? Right there. He grabs it. So it's a side carry, and it looks like it's not waistband. So he's outside of waistband.
Okay.
And then he grabs it. His hand's on it right now. His hand's on the holster.
Yep.
And then boom, he pulls it. So it looks like it's a composite holster like the one that I have. So it looks like, real quick, just so people can see it one more time. It pretty standard to have yourself. He doesn't have a mag light, doesn't have a flashlight, but he does have his red dot.
It's just a Kydex holster.
Yeah. It just looks like a composite holster. I mean, it just looks like, because the tug that he made, it doesn't look like he's carrying leather or anything like that. And he probably would have to have a custom. No, not for Red Dot. They make custom leathers, but it just looks like a little bit of resistance and a little bit tight on that. Watch the rest of this real quick.
And in the tussle, this guy's not used to that. He probably didn't have good finger placement and hit the trigger as he was trying to pull it.
I looked. It's not. There's no discharge. There's no powder. There's no residue. There's no round hitting the he's holding it down properly, and his finger, the trigger guard is completely open, and you can see it through the shadow on his pants. And Melanie pointed that out.
Okay.
So it's not discharge. I looked, and it's not that. It comes from, honestly, it sounds like it comes from the left in the pile in the scrum. Here's the video to show that. It always baffles me when people are like, what does it matter? This matters a lot. We like to get it right. Thank you very much. So here's the here's where he disarms him. But watch, see, okay, that. Oh, wait a second. We can see where that shot comes from. Hold on a second. Oh, it might be this guy right here. Hold on. Let's watch this again. Let's see. Tommy, you tell me. See this guy right here? He's got his hand.
I saw smoke puff out of him.
Yep.
And he's got his weapon drawn.
He's about ready to draw it. He's got his hand on it right now. Boom. He pulls.
Yeah.
That's where it looks like it came from right there, buddy. I never was watching him. I was always watching the other guy. Let's watch that again. Pull. He's the only one with his firearm, and the other guy started. So that's probably where it came from. It looks like it's that guy.
That's what it appears.
So here's the thing, Tommy. In a situation like this, firearms training. I mean, what's your gut? What's your assessment on this? You're an expert. You're a firearms dealer. You know all about this type of stuff. Is this a legitimate shoot based upon what happened in the level of confusion where no charges will be
Yes,
filed?
because if that guy was starting to go to his weapon, these guys have split-second reactions to make a decision. So it's definitely the ice guy is in the right. Second, the guy shouldn't even have a weapon in a protest like that.
Right. Right. He also shouldn't be, when you're concealed carry, you're told you cannot participate in any felony, any misdemeanor, any aggravated behavior or assault. You can't threaten people. You can't flip them off. You can't show them your firearm. I mean, that thing is supposed to stay in the leather or the composite until you're ready to put somebody down. And if you engage in that type of behavior and egg somebody on to get in a firefight with you, you're going to be held accountable for that. I mean, there's rules to how we're supposed to handle our firearms at all times, you know?
100%. And you're definitely not supposed to get into a fight with the federal agents.
Right.
And have a firearm on you. If they see the firearm, they're instantly going to start drawing theirs.
Right.
Because they don't know what this guy's going to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Listen, I think I can say this. In this situation, you know the guy's armed. They secure the firearm, but they don't know if he has a second firearm or not. And I believe what happened is when that guy pulled, somebody said gun, 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 and he pulled his firearm, he ND'd. And then everyone else immediately has to assume that round is, or that they have to put this guy down because the shot came from him. Or he did have a secondary firearm. Now, on one of the videos, on the first angle, you can see him with his left arm reach back, almost like pointing his elbow out, like he's reaching for something in his back pocket, side pocket, or possibly his jacket.
So you never know. He could have been reaching for a knife, too.
Right, because they already pulled some other things off him. You could see that they were searching him. They were grabbing in his pockets. They were holding him down, and it looks like there was a can of mace or something else. So, like, I don't consider this, I consider it to be a justified shoot, but there needs to be, it's so easy to play Monday morning quarterback on this shit. But this is a situation which has too much tension, too much testosterone, too much adrenaline, and then you enter a firearm into this equation, and what's happened to these guys, getting run over and being ambushed by guns and getting shot at. Enough's enough. Be run over. I mean, what do you expect them to do? They're running at a 24 hours, 7 days a week. And I just, I don't know what else to say about it.
This one, I'm going to say, is a more justified shooting than even the one with the car, because this had a firearm, and that's so popped off bad so quick.
Yeah. I agree. There's one picture I want to show you guys where everyone said, well, he could have been with his other hand. It's possible that he could have had his other hand full, but here it's empty. So I don't see anything in his hand here. I think it's very possible, truly, that when somebody pulled their firearm, they had a round racked, negligent discharge took place. We've seen it a million times. You and I both know that there's only one of two kind of people: the people who've had negligent discharge and the people who will have negligent discharge. It's just a matter of when. And I've been handling firearms. I've been handling firearms my full life, and so have you. Hey, Tommy, I got another call by Sherry Hill. Can I bounce you, and I'll call you back?
Oh, no problem, buddy.
Love you, buddy. Thanks,
How
man.
you dummies? Have a good evening.
All right, man. I owe you. Thanks, bud. All right. Got another caller. What do you want to talk about? And who is this?
My name is Jamie.
All right,
First time caller, first time listening to your show. Found you on Facebook.
All right, man. Jamie, thanks, Bubba. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm all for ICE. I'm all good for that. I think this was a good shooting, but I've seen some video. He was showing a little bit of it a couple minutes ago from the other side of the road.
Yes, sir.
With that one officer in the blue jeans.
Yes, sir.
That after the gun was pulled away.
Yep.
That it looked like the ICE agent. I'm assuming an ICE agent.
Yep.
Pulled his gun out.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just freaking really confused, and I want to believe that it was a good shoot.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that I'm being brainwashed on both sides. I just want someone else to.
Well, let me give you a little background. It's your first time watcher. So I'm former naval intelligence. I worked with some guys that ran around in black pajamas, and I've been working with firearms my whole life. We've got another naval intelligence officer on this show. We know a bunch of team guys. We've had Force Recon on. We've got gunsmiths. We've got gun dealers. We've got British SAS on this show, IDF. So we got a lot of people who like to chime in. We broke down that video, and you recognize the same guy. He pulls his round, and it looks like ND took place right there because you can see a puff of smoke. Okay. It looks like because you see the guy disarm, he pulls what we've identified as a P320 XG, I believe is what everyone's saying. I thought it was a 365. He pulls it, disarms him, and you can see that he didn't do the ND because you can see through the trigger housing, the sun is shining through the shadow on his pants. Yep. So he didn't.
I agree with that.
So the guy who pulled in the blue jeans, it looks like he came out pulled, and when he did, he negligent discharge, and then that fired everyone off who already knew a gun was in the situation. And when they heard that pop off, they immediately killed him.
Yep. That's what I'm seeing. Everybody's been saying, oh, he didn't fire a shot. And if he didn't, I mean, I just know how you hear a round go off and then everyone's training. You hear that, oh my God, now they go and shoot him. And I mean, whether it's a negligent discharge, he shouldn't have been there, shouldn't have had a gun on him, shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. And it's very sad. And I mean, it's very sad that he lost his life.
Yep.
But he made a bad choice.
Yeah, he did.
In my opinion.
No, it's stupid. We were talking about this as concealed carry holders. We all have to go through classes, and those classes are 8 hours. And then we have to, first of all, show we can use our firearm, disassemble our firearm, put it back together, clear a jam, whatever. But then we have to go through an extremely strenuous what if course, which basically tells you if you flip somebody off and you're concealed carry and that person comes over to kick your ass and you shoot them, you're going to prison. And, and so there are rules.
I'm from New York, so I know these gun laws, and they suck up here.
Yeah, well, they sure do. We've got some good friends up there in New York too, who also say the same thing. That you probably have seen some of their work, but who've been on the show. But I'm with you, Jamie. It looks to me like it is one of those things. It is a justifiable shoot because of the precursors that took place before. Mm-hmm. But in the end, this was a negligent discharge. The officer did, in my opinion, fire, whether accidentally or intent, thinking that he saw something that he didn't see, because you can see him looking and he reacts. Like he sees something, like that guy reaches for his pocket or the phone or something. And this is the thing I'm trying to say, is that you take a bunch of adrenaline, you take a bunch of tension, a bunch of fear, a bunch of anger, a bunch of noise, and you throw it together and you create already a situation that is so tense and so palpable that it overwhelms and overloads people because they are in a state of flux. They are just literally trying to be so hyper aware that a gunshot goes off and your first reaction is to draw your weapon and return fire. That is what you're trained to do. It's a starting gun.
Tunnel vision.
Yep.
Tunnel vision.
All right.
Just jams right in, and you just overload, and you just react right away to what you've been trained to do.
Yes, sir. I don't think you're being pulled in too many directions. I think this is the straight poop in this situation. I think the investigation will find that this is probably what happened. I can't imagine that they bring charges against the officer.
No.
This guy, I'll say this also. I don't know the person. He's concealed carrying. What I know about, and I'm just going to say this, people might get mad at me, but what I do know about concealed carry is there's two things that are true, is that there's never been a mass shooting conducted by a concealed carry holder, and they are some of the most law-abiding citizens ever in the world. And you don't get a concealed carry unless you play by the law. Now,
Exactly.
this guy has a concealed carry, is my understanding. He was a legal carrier. So maybe this guy was there to protest. Maybe he just got pissed. Maybe he found out his girlfriend was screwing another guy. I don't know. I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. I don't care.
Yep.
I'm just trying to add perspective to people that you can make stupid choices even with the best intent. And did he deserve to die? No. I don't believe he deserved to die. I think the lady who tried to run over the ICE agent did deserve to die. Do I think this guy was trying to go for a gun? I don't know. I can't see that he was trying to go for a gun now. Now that I see it and know where the firearm was located, it's hard for me to think that he was going for it. But we don't know what happened in those final seconds with the guy in the Levi's, what he saw. And I think that's what we're going to uncover when we get to the investigation.
Well, I hope so, but I'm glad you took my call. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Jamie.
You know, you made me feel a lot better that I wasn't seeing things and thinking wrong, you know?
Yeah, you're doing good, man. I appreciate you. Hey, thanks for calling, dude. Really appreciate you.
Hey, thank you for taking the call. Have a good night.
All right, Bubba. God bless. Nice guy, dude. Nice guy. It's good to have good people on the phone. Listen, it's just the way it is. This sucks. But I had to get it right. Like, I had to see it. Now, some more evidence could come out. We can have a different angle. We might find out that this guy had a backup piece. I don't know if that's the case, because can I just tell you, if I want to die by shooting, I'm drawing right when that ICE officer steps to. I'm not letting him get his pepper spray out. I'm going to fire on him. If I want to die by cop, so this guy could have drawn multiple times and multiple occasions anytime he wanted. Hey, Anonymous, $40. Thanks for the breakdown, Matthew. No, thanks for the donation. We appreciate it. We're not supposed to be on tonight. We're off. I mean, we're huddling around drinking cocoa, having a fire, and ready for the snow to come. So, you know, this is bonus time, and we wanted to get on here because I had said some things that I felt weren't 100% represented to how I feel, and I wanted to get on a live. So here's what I want to own. I want to own the following, is that when I said that in his right hand, it very much looked like a gun, I did say that online. I was wrong. 100% wrong. I believe that was his phone. As far as being disarmed, I also said that the gun that guy took off him was not the same gun. That was the officer's gun. I was wrong. My initial reaction was incorrect. And that's why I removed the post that stated that, and I'm going to go back through my thread and make sure that everything else I said. But here's the point I tried to make. Those officers all saw something that teed them off to fire, and now we know what it was. He was carrying a firearm. They did remove it from him. There was a shot that was fired off, and initial reaction was that it was the assailant who fired and popped and cooked off a round, and then they returned fire on him. The way it looks is that ICE agent pulled his weapon, fired accidentally, negligent discharge, probably striking him. Then the other officers followed suit. That's probably what happened. Here's a better picture of the gun. I got a really good picture of the gun, by the way. Someone asked a question before I get to Kev. Who asked the question? Why did he fight? Great question. Why did he fight? We don't know. His mom could have cancer. He could be bankrupt. He could just be an asshole. We don't know. But I've had bad days. I've done stupid things. And just because people go to protest ICE, it shouldn't automatically condemn them to hell or death. But what's he doing fighting? What's he doing pushing that woman around? What did he do beforehand? We got to see the video that he was instigating and starting shit with ICE or excuse me, Border Patrol, whoever it was, DHS, whatever. And that's unacceptable. Kevin, what's your take on this, buddy?
Oh, look, I don't have a concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
I don't own firearms.
Okay.
But every time I've ever gotten pulled over, a cop has asked me, do you have any weapons in the vehicle?
Right.
If you have a concealed carry permit
Yeah, they know.
and you're approached by the cop, the first thing you should do is put your hands in the air and say, I have a concealed carry permit. I have a weapon at my back. You cooperate with them, or you risk getting shot.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Well, okay. So I want to put up, first of all, let's put out the right thing to do. So when you get pulled over by a police officer in a vehicle, your hand should be at 10 at 2, and you should have your insurance and your registration, your driver's license that annotates your concealed carry on it in your left hand, 2 fingers, just like this. Window rolled down, and when the officer shows up, you slightly lift up your fingers and go, officer, this is my license, my registration, and my proof of concealed carry. How would you like me to proceed? Then he's going to ask you 1 or 2 questions. He's going to say, are you carrying today? You say, yes, I am, sir. Where is your carry? It's in my lower right hip, and I'm not going to reach for it. Or it's in my dash, or it's on my side console, whatever it is. And he's going to say, well, that's fine. As long as it stays right there, you keep yours there, I'll keep mine in my holster. That's what they'll say. But you will see them visibly relax, because they know if you're CC that you are a law-abiding citizen, because they do a very thorough background check, and you can't have any felonies, and you can't be a fuckhead. So that's how you do that. If you are concealed carry in a situation where you are approached by an officer, I would never, ever explain to an officer and put my hands in the air and say, I'm carrying a gun or I'm CC. Never. I would answer their questions. And at any time, they'll say, sir, are you armed? I'd say, yes, sir, I am, and I'm legally carrying. And you don't move. How would you like me to proceed? He says, what I'd appreciate what you would do is just keep your hands where I can see them and don't make any sudden moves. And you keep that firearm where it's supposed to be, and I'll keep mine in my holster. And you say, okay. Now, there might come a time where an officer says, I'm going to go ahead and disarm you and remove your firearm. And at that point, you have a choice. You can either say yes, which I never would say yes, or 2, and say, sir, I am not comfortable with anyone handling my firearm, as it is foreign to you and it reacts to me alone because it is mine and I have made it that way. If you would like me to remove the firearm safely, I'll be happy to do that, as long as you give me permission to do so. Or could we also have another person on scene that can also watch the situation to make sure that the firearm is safe before we continue? So then this has happened to me. You got to remember, 2 trucks blocked me on the highway and would not let me proceed down the road, and came out with a crowbar and wanted to fight me and blocked me in. To my right was a big truck, like a U-Haul, long 17-footer, and then a big 21, 22-footer in front of me, and they slammed on their brakes and they cut me off because they felt that I cut them off if they almost forced me off the road twice. And to my left was a barranca that went down to, a divider 6 feet. There was traffic behind me. We were stuck in traffic, and they blocked me in. And main driver and the guy on the right both come out of the vehicle, start cussing and screaming and yelling. One guy comes out with a crowbar on the right side and starts advancing. So I open up my door and I take 1 foot out, 1 foot on the edge, the footrest. And I said, gentlemen, I'm letting you know right now, if you continue to proceed, I'm considering this a threat. I'm asking you to stop. The guy's like, fuck you, pussy. And he started to advance. And that's when I closed the door and I stepped and I showed him and I lifted up my shirt and I said, if you take another step, I'm going to draw, I'm going to kill you. And he stopped, and this guy ran. He went into his cab, and he fucking took off. And I had my phone out at that time, and I started recording. I got pictures of this. The guy in this cab wasn't armed, and he went into his cab, and he fucking grabbed a neon green crowbar, came down, and started walking towards me. And that's when I put my hand on my weapon. And he goes, what, are you going to fucking shoot me? And I said, if you keep walking towards me, I promise you I'm going to, because I got nowhere to go, bro. You're making me feel unsafe. You haven't let me move forward. This is kidnapping, and you're coming at me with a violent weapon. I'm letting you know I will defend myself. So he goes, I'm calling the fucking police. I said, that's awesome. I recommend it. I'm doing the same thing. So I did. Man, 12 sheriffs showed up. Canine unit showed up. And right before they did, I'm on the phone with 911. I said, I am right here. I see the officers. I see them coming. I want to let you know I'm going to put my phone down on speaker and set it on my dash. My firearm is in my back hip. I'm going to put both hands up as they approach facing them. Please let them know. And they're like, we're conveying your entire conversation to their squad cars right now. And I stop and I have my hands up. Officer comes out of the car, no defensive posture, no hand on them. They know immediately who I am. They can look and they can see. They've already run background. They already have my name. They know I'm concealed carry. They know I'm a veteran. And the cops, and I said, sir, just want to let you know, I'm the other guy who's armed. This guy called about me over here in this truck. How would you like me to proceed? And he says, just keep your hands where I can see them. You keep yours in your holster. I'll keep mine in mine. I said, yes, sir. He goes, put your hands down. He's like, what happened? And I told him. And he goes, I'll be right back. So his partner comes over. He's like, hey, how you doing, man? He's like, Marine Corps? I'm like, no, United States Navy. He's like, roger that. He's like, you guys gave us a ride. Starts talking shit to me, right? We're having fun. The other cops come up. Hey, man, guess what happened to this guy? He was Navy. Then they find out where I work. So this guy goes and talks to the front cab who blocked me. And he goes, where's your buddy? And this is paraphrased later because he told me everything he said. He goes, where's your buddy? He goes, he took off. And he's like, so let me get this straight. You exited your cab, you grabbed a weapon, and you approached a guy who told you he was armed? He goes, yeah. He goes, you're lucky this guy knows not to, you didn't get some rank amateur, that he handled himself correctly, because you should be dead. I'll let you know, if you did that to me, this isn't a threat. I'm just telling you, I would have put you down. He's like, you're lucky you're not dead. Came up to me, Mr. Spear, I've talked to this gentleman. Do you want to press any charges? I said, no, I just want to go beyond about my way. And he's like, roger that. And I coined him because I was working for a company, did coins. And he said, thanks so much. And I drove off. That was it. So
bottom line.
Yeah, bottom line. Long story. Sorry about that.
You're carrying a firearm. You cooperate with law enforcement.
Yeah, you do.
You don't struggle with them.
Yeah. No.
This guy was struggling with them.
Yeah, he was.
It took 4 guys to bring him down.
That's correct.
From what I've seen.
That's correct.
So, and once there's 4 guys involved trying to bring down a suspect, there's good chance. I know what if sounds stupid. If I draw my weapon on a perp and he accidentally grabs my arm,
yeah,
I'm going to fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Always. I mean, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Once they heard that round cook off, that was it. I mean, he's dead. Because it's already a tense situation. They know a gun was involved. They don't know if he has a second gun, right? They don't know. And a round cooks off. But that officer saw something, and he's going to tell us what he saw. Like, we may not hear this, but there's going to be an investigation. And what they're going to find more than likely is the guy in the Levi's. I'm assuming, I don't have it 100%, but that was negligent discharge, or he fired on this guy for a reason. And it could have been that he made a very quick move to grab a knife, grab another place in the jacket they haven't searched. It doesn't matter. He made a move that they did not like, and he fired. And then everyone else pulled their weapon. So I don't know what else to say, but you're absolutely right.
After the first shot?
Yeah, they pulled after them. Well, understand this. The first shot took place, and we have the video, and you can watch the show where...
It was fast.
Of course it was fast. It was all within 3 seconds.
Less. If you count from the first shot to the last,
it was
probably less than 2 seconds.
3.2
pop.
3.2 seconds was because there was 1 or 2 shots after that. Remember, the guy drew, and I think it was negligent discharge. Before a shot was even fired, he had drawn his firearm. I believe he is the one that accidentally discharged into the guy, or intentionally based upon what he saw, and then the other ICE agents followed through. And it sounded like there was a total of 5 shots.
The first guy that drew the firearm, that may have been a negligent discharge.
Yeah.
That was after hearing gun.
No. Oh, yeah. So here's the break.
So you hear gun. You pull your weapon.
They didn't know. They didn't pull. That's not what happened. So if you listen to it and you listen to the first video, you see him come in and disarm him, and then you hear gun. It's secondary.
And then the second guy pulls his weapon.
First guy pulls, and that's where we think an ND took place, right when they heard gun. So somebody saw something, and like I said, it could have been a secondary firearm. We don't know. That's where we need to identify what happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Who yelled? Who went gun, gun, gun? Was it the guy trying to get the weapon away from him?
No, because that guy was long gone by then. Here, can you have your phone on you?
I have my phone.
Yeah, can you watch this live? Because I can show you.
I'm watching it on the computer.
All right, so listen. Here's the video.
The fuck, people? The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly.
I can't listen on the computer. I can only watch.
That's okay. So right here, this guy in the gray, he reaches in and he sees his gun. He's got a little ball cap and he's got, see my pointer, this guy. He reaches in and he sees the gun on his hip is right here. You can see it. It's literally right there. It's right there on his hip. That's his ass. That's his posterior. He reaches in. Oh, he grabs it. He has his hand right on it, right there. And watch, he pulls it out right here. Boom. But then this guy pulls his firearm right here. Watch. So it's simultaneous. So it's simultaneous. So you hear it. So watch. So he has the gun, and we know, see, he pulled because he saw the gun too. So this is what happened. This guy saw it and went for it. Once he saw the gun, look at his face, straight down. He sees the gun, then he pulls. Watch. Oh shit, there's a gun. Because he's pulling it out. Then this guy has the gun and he moves off, but he already fired, and that's where the negligent discharge, I think, is. Watch it again. Here, listen. See? Gun, gun. And that is probably negligent discharge guy saying, gun, gun. And then he unloads into him. That's what I think happened. So
a waste of human life.
It's just, it sucks. It's stupid. Like, I don't know. Blake, I don't think he was reaching for his gun, man. We watched it real close. I still think it's a justified shoot. He brought a gun. He instigated fights. He resisted arrest. They saw the gun. The guy pulled it, but when he pulled it, his training is to say gun. You see gun, you call gun. That's just the way you do it. The guy in the gray hat saw it. The guy that had the black mask on and the Levi's didn't. Once that gun came out, he could have seen the other guy reaching behind him. He doesn't know. He doesn't know he has another gun. And then he said, gun, gun, gun. It was all simultaneously. Gun, gun, gun. Instead, what you don't say is gun, 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 because that's the code word for fucking guy's got a gun and he's going to kill us. What he should have said, guys, everyone calm down. We've got the gun that he had. So hold on, let's get him. You know, let's make sure he's disarmed. Make sure he has no weapons on him. Something like that. But the other guy did the right thing because he grabbed the gun and then he moved away from the scene. He removed the firearm from the scene. I think you have a little bit of an overzealous ICE guy there who just did what he thought was right. Yeah. Yeah. Of course
tensions are high. I mean, these guys are getting attacked everywhere they go.
Yeah.
In Minnesota.
Yep.
You know. Whatever, man. It's just a waste of life.
It's a waste of life. It sucks. I'm 100% behind ICE, but I just don't. I think people are going to use this as that he was disarmed and blah 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 blah. I think that's a stupid way to look at this. I really do. You know,
they use everything. Everything is used for political purposes.
Yeah,
everything.
What people said is that he was in the middle of the street. He was blocking and hindering cars. Then he pulled the lady, whoever that was, right? There's no doubt this guy is not innocent in this. He created the situation that put him in the line of fire. And what he should have done is put his fucking hands up and said, sir, I'm armed and I'm a protester. How would you like me to proceed? That's what he should have done. He was trained on that. At the very least, he was trained on that when he got his concealed carry.
You have no legal course of action to protest law enforcement in the process of doing their job.
That's correct.
You want to go protest in front of the police station, you can do that.
Real quick, I want to address something. Carrie says, plus the fact that the protester had brought 2 extra magazines. I want to give you credit that you said magazines and not clips. I always carry 2 mags too. I've got 1 mag here, fully loaded, 17 rounds. And then I've got another one here. And then I've got another one in my car. I carry 3 mags at all times. So that doesn't bother me. Most shooters are going to carry a secondary mag because we understand that in a firefight, shot selection is everything, and your accuracy is going to go down by 50%. So I always carry a second mag. Most people do. Cops do. So this whole thing where they're like, oh, he was armed to the teeth. No, he was a standard concealed carry holder, and I'm going to defend him on that. I always carry extra mags. Always. Depends on where I'm going, but I always do. So that doesn't bother me at all, you know? So that's no big deal. Because any real person who's been down range understands that rounds go very quickly. And you may go, oh, well, I've got 32 rounds. That's a lot. No, it's not. There's 34. It goes quick. And most firefights last 30 seconds. They're not these long drawn out movies where they're fucking, exchanging fire for 10 months. If you're not undercover and you're in a position of vulnerability one way or another, those firefights only last 30 seconds or so. A long extended firefight is for the movies. Anyway. Now,
all right, Matt, I'm going to let you go, man.
Thanks, buddy. Love you, pal. Thanks for calling, Kev. Talk to you soon. All right, buddy. Bye. John Sliggins. I don't know. It doesn't matter, dude. I'm going to call you Slag. It's your new name, Slag. It just fits you. You just look like Slag. It's a good name. It's a strong name. Just saw another picture after the shooting, and it looks like another gun under the shot guy's foot. It does look like at one point that he might have something and reaching something in his left. I'm not going to lie. Most of us have an ammo can in the vehicles. Yeah, I always have extra mags. I've got 5 mags for my AR. I've got 4 bananas for my M1. Every other weapon I have, I've got multiple magazines. Yeah. All right. Is that it? Sluggo works. Sluggo. It works. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. We raised $106. That's enough. That covers the cost of the show. I'm going to go back to spending some time with my family. I hope you... Oh, Loretta's calling. Never mind. I got to stay on for Loretta. Loretta. Hello, sweetie. What's up?
You surprised me by having a show today. So,
well,
my internet was out, and then it came back on a little later, and I was just scrolling through watching TV.
Uh-huh.
And where did this, do you know where this attack went down? What street or?
I don't. I don't at all. Once again, the person who I know who was there in the general vicinity, I didn't ask those questions. I just asked if he was okay, and that's all I know. And Gary isn't going to be there until Friday. So the one we prayed for last night, he's going to be arriving Friday, and God, that he has to go into that godforsaken mess is crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he's a lifelong friend. We've known him for almost 30 years. And just a really good dude. And yeah, we're praying for him. I talked to him immediately. I reached out and said, dude, tell me you're okay. And he's like, yep, we're not there yet, but I got to be in it next week. And I'm just like, oh, shit. So.
Well, I was watching another YouTube channel, and the one that I had told you before, I don't want to say anything
it's okay.
bugging, but
it's okay.
The one that I had talked to before, he showed a different view of that same attack.
Yeah.
And he showed a video of a Antifa guy.
Uh-huh.
That he was inside his home, or he was inside a building. I assumed home. But this Antifa guy was a tall white guy. And he had kind of a light reddish, grayish beard.
Yeah.
He had a teardrop, some kind of a tattoo by his right eye.
Yeah, those are prison tattoos.
Okay. Yeah, it had some kind of dollar sign on it or something.
Yeah.
And he was calling for Antifa.
Oh, well, there's no doubt that they're out there. I mean, these are these people all run in the same circles. Real quick.
He said he was Antifa, and he was part I guess, part leader of the Antifa,
Oh,
and he was calling for everybody to fully arm the
yes, I saw this. Yes, it said everyone needs it. Yes, I saw this guy. Yes. Yeah.
and he said to go out and let's get rid of this to get rid of the law.
Yeah. Real quick, Loretta, Sandy Season says, how can a guy on the ground with 4 men who are on top of him be a threat? A gun balances things out all the time. And remember, when you're a person who has 4 guys on you, it's very difficult to stop a person who's full of adrenaline and fired up.
Well,
and the thing you need to understand is that getting his hands behind him when he doesn't want his hands taken is dangerous, and they don't know what he has. But it's very simple to roll over, even when people are trying to get you from standing up. All you have to do is collapse under your own weight, and then that firearm can be used. It's just a dangerous situation. Their job sucks. Their job
sounds
sucks.
like he knows his life's over, so he just chose suicide by cops.
Well, I don't know if that's the case. Like, I don't buy into that. I think this guy was a pretty decent citizen. He was probably a real dick when it comes to his politics, but he has a concealed carry, and most people with concealed carry are in fact, all people with concealed carry are law-abiding citizens. They are.
I just wondered if he was part of the Antifa gang.
That I don't know. I don't know. But Dwayne Johnson says, fuck ICE and fuck Trump. You can if you want to, but I'm good with my wife. She's hot. So if you want to go ahead and have sex with men, that's your choice, Dwayne. Weird. What a flex.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't pick Donald Trump. I don't think he gets my juices flowing. So anyway.
What kind of stupid people are in this country?
Well, he can't even spell Dwayne. It's D-Wan. So he doesn't even know how to spell the name, and he's an idiot.
He went to the Leering School.
He went to the Leering School? He's probably Somalian, I would assume.
Yeah.
He's probably Somali. He went to the Leering School. Did you see the Somali waltz that I put on?
Yeah. The bananas and the rice.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Dwayne, hey, D1, you should call in 276-200-2105. We would love to hear how intelligent you are, D1. Anyway, Loretta, I love you. I got to go. I'm going to go enjoy my Saturday while D1 wants to have sex with men.
Because the weather's coming your way. Right now, we've already got snow on the ground.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
We're excited for it. We got everything iced. We got bags on all the beautiful trees outside. We're ready to go.
We had a nice storm here a few years back, and it lasted 3 weeks. We had no heat, no electric, no nothing. We couldn't even get out of Black Oak. We couldn't get to town, or we couldn't get to Garrison. We was just landlocked right in here, and the lines was down over the train tracks, and the trees over the roads, and it went on like that. And National Guard was in here, and they was taking food up in haulers and to people that was, I mean, it was horrible. And I was trying to raise my son by myself, and we just stayed bundled up and eating tuna out of a can. And
there you go. Let me ask you: are you you're ready for this? You've got heat. You got everything you need, right?
Yeah, I've got 150. Well, I bought more than 150, but they wouldn't deliver it till Monday. I got it Monday. Then I got another $438 worth of gas delivered.
Yeah.
So I've got gas, and I'll be warm no matter if the electric goes off. And I've got my iron skillets, and I've got wood, so I could cook in the backyard if I need to.
All right. Well, good job, Loretta. I got to go. I love you. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
I love you guys, and I hope that we can get all this taken care of.
Wouldn't it be nice? Well, now that Tim Walz is called the National Guard, D1 should have more men to lust
see
after.
Where they found tunnels going all the way back to the mansion?
Yes.
And all of that drug money and
it's crazy.
All the drugs that was.
Yeah, it's crazy, Loretta. I got to go, sweetie. I want to go join my family. Let me go. Got to go.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Dwayne says, you not know veteran, bitch. You not know English, man. Holy shit. Are you fucking Ebonics illiterate? God, shouldn't there have been a program for you like No Child Left Behind or Can you ask your father if you know who he is? You should do that. It'd be a really good thing. Come on, D1. Don't be so upset. How do you overkill a person? You just kill them. I don't understand what you're talking about. Nick says, yeah, all the Second Amendment folks are freaking out. Why? Why would they? Think about what happened. Oh, hold on. I got to read what this guy said. Think about what happened to a good guy that helped a woman getting shoved to the ground. He's trying to help a woman and they assaulted him. Well, this is a great spin on the whole thing. I'm sure he could see the other 5 to 6 agents jumping on him. Tell me again how beating him in the head with his pepper spray canister was appropriate. Well, let me ask you a question. If he was so innocent, then why didn't he just simply not resist arrest? If he's such a law-abiding citizen, which I've already said that when you're a concealed carry holder that you're automatically law-abiding, why didn't he just simply comply? Because she wasn't pushed to the ground until the agent was accosted and assaulted. You must not have watched the whole video. You must just watch the part that was clipped. But I'll finish your statement. Tell me again how beating him in the head with a pepper spray canister was appropriate. Show me how he had anyone in his hands. They tackled him and in the process discovered the handgun. They removed it and shortly after they shot him. That's exactly what happened at the last part. But all the other fictitious bullshit you said isn't true. He didn't comply. He resisted arrest. He had a firearm. He was told to give up his hands. And at some point, the officer drew his weapon, and yes, negligent, more than likely, indeed, it was a negligent discharge, and then everyone else fired. But it was a situation that could have been avoided if he just would have done what they all should do, which is fucking comply. Do what you're told to do. You're in a situation where you're putting yourself in a very tense situation where these guys are trying to actually perform something that's dangerous, something that you would never do. You don't have the spine to do. So they go out and do it, and then you fuck with them. You get in their way, you honk your horns, you have your whistles, you throw dog shit at them, you throw bottles of ice at them, you launch fireworks at them. You go ahead and you constantly provoke them for no reason other than they're trying to do their job. A job where the laws of the United States and the Constitution of these United States and the state laws all say that this is 100% legal to do because these people are in our country illegally and they're trying to execute these warrants and trying to execute these grievances against people who are here illegally, and you guys aren't protesting. You're breaking the law. You don't have a permit for those. You can't go out and block the fucking street. You can't throw things and throw rocks and freaking carry a firearm. You can't shoot at these people. You can't try to run them over with a vehicle. You're going to get shot. So why didn't he comply? End of story. That's it. Conversation's over. You know he's supposed to with a concealed carry? That's actually an obligation to have a concealed carry. And the moment that he did not comply with the officers, he was going to lose his concealed carry anyway. He's going to lose it. It immediately would be revoked by the state. He broke the law on multiple occasions. He failed to comply. That's obstruction. He pushed an officer. That's a felony. I don't know what else to tell you, dude, but the whole other fictitious bullshit, I'm in agreement with the last part. I truly believe after witnessing the video and looking and breaking it down that the officer negligently discharged. Yeah. But all those other things that led up to that are the things that you've left out, which is interesting. Who else? Did he leave? Oh, he left. What a coward. Come on, dude. I even read your comments. It's like D1. I read his comments too. And he doesn't have the balls to call in. Speaking of balls. Anything else? Anybody else who's going to melt down besides D1 Johnson if he can get past Ebonics? And did you find out who your dad is yet, buddy? I'm not calling in your stupid ass show. Yeah, because you can't figure out the fucking numbers because you're an idiot. Did you play sports? I bet you did. You just got banned. See, I gave you a chance to call in and plead your case, but you can't do it because you know exactly what would happen. You just get smoked. Smoked! I'm right here. Okay, Nick. Well, what do you mean lies? What did I lie about? Tell me what. Nick, 276-200-2105. I'm going to stay on late for you. Come on, Nicholas. Call in. And I want you to point out what I said that was a lie. Tell me what was a lie. And I'm going to show you the video and make you look fucking stupid. See, instead of you going, oh, well, you know what? This guy agreed with my back half of my statement and he reflected exactly what I said. But because I disagree with the front half, I'm going to go ahead and disagree. All right, is this Nick?
Hello.
Is this Nick?
Yeah, this is Joseph from Minnesota.
Oh, hey, Joseph. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Oh, well,
probably what's going on in my fucking state. I mean,
I know, but
crazy.
buddy, we got a show we're working on. What do you want to talk about? There's got to be something you want to talk about. Lay it on me. It's got to be something good.
I'll lay it on you.
All right.
Well, there's got to be. Well, we have a representative here in my city that is, of course, anti-ICE. He's giving information of where they are, this and that. We were going to have an ICE detention center here in my city. And then he went and blew the whistle on it. And apparently they can't use it now. It's actually a facility nearby me. But
Hold on a second. You called in right at a time I was trying to argue with somebody. Nick says, without video feed from the angle I'm talking about, there's no point. I just agree with what you said, Nick. What are you talking about? What angle do you want? Without the video feed of the 3 minutes prior to actually the altercation where he was blocking traffic and he was confrontational with police and he was throwing things at police that you don't have, I can't have this conversation. I already agreed and I was acquiesced to what you had to say. I was completely agreeable with the fact that it was an agent who indeed and more than likely drew early because he saw something after he was disarmed. What are you talking about? I already proved your point in the last 2 sentences. All the other bullshit you said before that is a bunch of crock of shit that he's just an innocent guy and he's standing there selling fucking cookies with the Girl Scouts. Give me a fucking break, Nick. Take some personal responsibility for what he did. I don't even say that he's an outstanding citizen, that to have a concealed carry, you can't have any felonies. You can't have any pending class misdemeanors. That he's got to be an upstanding human being. And so he probably was. His politics made him an asshole, but that's okay. He didn't deserve to die from it. I never said that. But his choices led up to that. And that's his fault. And all he had to do was comply. All he had to do was put his hands up and say, sir, I want to let you know I'm concealed carry. I'm carrying right now. I'm in this protest. Tempers are hot. I apologize. How would you like me to proceed? I want you to put your hands down and I want you to get the fuck out of here. That's what I want you to do. And I want you to remove yourself from the situation because you are carrying and you're going to get hurt. And then that's it. It's over. But that's not what he did. What did he do? He decided to be a tough guy. And he decided to try to get involved in the mix. And the woman who hit the cop, he decided to go ahead and then push the cop. The cop pepper sprayed him. That's what the video shows. And you're going to sit here and tell me that I'm full of shit and I'm lying, man. It's just not, it's just absolutely disingenuous of you because you're not being honest. You're lying. And you're calling me a liar. Tell me what I lied about. You're such a homo. Nick, you're a homo. You're literally taking up the ass. Joseph, get anything else from me?
yeah, well, I'm like 10 minutes away from where they have this protest going on, Nicollet Avenue and 27th, West 27th Street. Anyways, Minneapolis police barricaded it, and then Governor Walz, he's dispatched the National Guard to provide security for the Minneapolis police. But I'm just wondering your opinion, should Trump bring in federal forces?
No. Why would you want to bring federal? You don't want to declare martial law. You don't need to do the Insurrection Act. You've got National Guard. Tim Walz realized he was wrong. He had to eat crow. He stood there and said that there was no reason to bring in the Guard. Now he has to bring in the Guard to bring the peace. He'll look like an asshole. He already does. That's why he's not running for re-election. And he's under investigation, and I hope they arrest his ass. But no, Trump doesn't need to do this. This is handled. Listen, no matter what happens, ICE did their job. This guy broke the law on multiple fronts. He obstructed justice. He assaulted a police officer. He resisted arrest. And all of that violates him having a gun. And he knows that all of his rights of having a firearm would be revoked based upon his actions. He knew it was breaking the law. He has been schooled in this. He took an 8-hour training course. He did a 45-minute shooting course, and he took a written test that stated that his behavior in this situation violated him carrying a firearm. He broke the law, and he did not comply. And this is what happens when you don't comply. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it justified in the sense of moral ambiguity, but it does make it from a legality standpoint that these officers have to protect themselves. And when you resist arrest and you have a firearm and you create too much volatility, too much adrenaline, and too much fear in a situation that already has enough of all three, you have to take some culpability. This guy wasn't innocent. He wasn't a guy who was just like I said, selling Girl Scout cookies. He was a guy who was trying to be a massive interruption to federal law enforcement from doing their legal job under the authority of the Constitution of the United States and the state's constitution. And he decided to interfere. He fucked around. He found out. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just, kind of ashamed to live in this fucking state.
Then move out, Joseph. Then come to here, Virginia, where we're going to be bluer than Minnesota. Hey, Bubba, I gotta let you go. I got to keep the phone line clear for Nick and see if he'll have the intestinal fortitude to call.
So. Well, he better have some balls and not be a little pussy.
He's being a pussy. He's being a pussy. I'm trying to convince him.
Big talk.
That's right.
All right. Well, I'll tell him. Call in, Nick. You big fucking baby.
All right, I gotta let you go. Guy, get out of here, Joseph. Come on, Nick. Call in. Who's begging? I'm begging you because you want to have a conversation and you called me a liar. If you were in front of me, we would have a conversation a little bit different. You don't have the balls to do that. You and I both know you don't have the balls to do it. You're like fucking 87, dude. But the situation is that if you and I were, 25 years from now, and it was 25 years ago, you and I'd be throwing hands. You know what I know. You don't come from the neighborhood I come from and call someone a liar. You can't back it up. You still haven't said one thing I lied. Tell me what I lied about. Put one line, type it if you can, get your fucking reading bifocals and type in the one thing that I said that was a lie. I'll wait. Just give me, and here's the thing. I gave you a phone number to call into. You could sit here and you could list them up. I'll give you 5 minutes. You could just do whatever you want. You can gum your tapioca and tell us all about it. But it seems like you're terrified to do that. That's what I thought. All right, everybody. Listen, I'm going to go. Nick's a pussy. We know that. He's not going to call. Olivia. Yeah, my wife says you can call in and she'll get on here and you can debate her. That would be fun, Nick. Yeah, you could do that. You should be able to take a woman. I mean, you don't have a lot of interactions with them from what your picture screams. Oh, you're a joke. Well, you still haven't been able to point out a lie, so it seems like the joke's on you, pal. You called me a liar, so you're the one that looks like an idiot, not me. Everything I said was 100% in agreement with you, so what does that make you? If I'm a joke and I agreed with, half of what you said, what does that make you, pal? You still can't point one lie. What's the lie? Name one. Waiting on you, buddy. And I will keep the insults coming because you deserve to be insulted when you're afraid to have dialogue. You call someone a liar and now you want me to go ahead and be your friend? Who insulted first, dick fuck? You. You called me a liar. So, tears for you, dude. I think I got some Kleenex here. You can use it. Here you go. Wipe them tears, boo-boo. You're the one who started it, man. You're the one who started talking shit. Can't back it up. Can't even make a phone call. Can't even talk to another person on the phone. Gave you all the time in the world. All right. We out. See you guys. Talk to you soon. Please do me a favor if you haven't had a chance. Please donate to the Don't Unfriend Me show. You can do that by going to thedumbshow.com. We appreciate the bonus money tonight. We know it's the weekend. We're usually not on. Nick, I might send it to you so you can buy yourself a pair of testicles if they're not in your boyfriend's mouth. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree. We can
Okay. Nick says, I'm dialing and you're pivoting. Pivoting? Pivoting what? What are you talking about? I'm waiting, dude. You got me back. Not like it really matters. Folks, would appreciate some donations, though. If I'm going to stay on later, it'd be nice to go ahead and pay for all this extra time as Nick tries to figure out how to use a phone, even though we know who he is. Call in, Nick. So here's the great thing with Nick is that he'll go down in infamy because he's the one who's lying. Because he's not going to call. You know what's funny is when he said that Bovino and Noem are lying. I'm sorry, I didn't have Noem or Bovino on my show. And I certainly didn't defend them either. So why would you bring them? That's what's known as a pivot, right? That's called moving the goalposts. So you're mad at Bovino and Noem. Well, fucking call them, bro. Don't call me. I've already openly admitted what happened on the shooting. I'm probably one of the most, accurate and thoughtful conservative commenters because I don't know anyone else is doing it. So let's go, man. Hurry the fuck up. Can't you figure out how to dial a phone? 276-200-2105. Nicholas, let's go, man. I don't have all day. I got to go salt the driveway and the steps, man. I got plenty to do. Let's do this. Come on. Go over. Do you have a rotary phone or do you have to actually connect through the operator? Hello, operator. This is Nick. Gosh dang, Susie, I haven't talked to you in 3 years. Holy fuck, how you been? I'm trying to call this don't unfriend me young whippersnapper. He's talking some mad shit. Oh, you remember in 1913? Yeah, right after them Wright brothers went down our hill. I told those fuckers, get off my lawn. They didn't do it. And I'm going to call this little prick. Going to make sure he understands what fuck. Hello? Hello? Oh, fuck. Son of a motherless whore. Is that Nick? Is he going to call in? All right. Nick, I love your trolls. But see, the thing is that this is what we do. We handle people like you. Most of your friends are smart enough not to call in anymore because they can't handle it. They just get shellacked. Just like purple-headed yogurt slinger mushrooms all over their face from bruises. Here he is. I can see why you find entertaining better than the pedo on Family Guy. Yeah, but you thought you were calling in, Nick. So you're a liar? We already know who you are, dude. You can't stop watching the show. We know this. You going to call in, Putz? It's funny. We know why you can't call in, because you're blocked. You can't figure out how to get yourself unblocked. So now I got to ban you because you're a wanker. You're a wanker. So you talk all tough. You're a liar. Yeah, I'm a liar. But you're the one who said you were going to call in. You troll the troll? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I can't troll my own page. Do you even know what a troll is? Let me guess. You heard that on the interwebs. You and Al Gore, who invented it. Come on, man. Seriously, you can do better than this. Just pick up the phone. Call. All right. See you later. You're banned, Nick. Remember, you were being a pussy, not me. I told you. I gave you a chance to call in, dude. I'm even staying on overtime for you, and you still won't call in. What are you scared of? You can be a man once in your life? Come on. You can be a man one time. Just pick up the phone. That's all you got to do. Say, hey, Matt, what's going on? Tell me how I lied. I never said I'm calling. Yes, you did. You said you're dialing, you fucking idiot. All right, you're out of here, Putz. You're out of here. What a wanker. World-class wanker. Is there anybody off with their heads? Is there anyone with any intestinal fortitude? Anyone who wants to come on and have a conversation? No? Guess not. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.